Hey, welcome back to Fifth Wheel.
Welcome back. I'm Hannah,
I'm Sydney.
and we're your gracious hosts.
Yep, and this is Miami.
Miami!
I love this race.
This,
Such a good weekend.
honestly, best time of the year. People say Christmas is the most wonderful time of the year, but I think it's the Miami Grand Prix weekend.
Honestly, I'm with you. I started getting Miami edits on TikTok 2 weeks ago, so I've just been waiting. I've been waiting for this.
I deleted TikTok because I was spending way too much time on it, and Sydney was saying that she was getting a ton of F1 Miami edits, and I was like happy not having TikTok
Yeah.
anymore, but she said that, and suddenly it all came flooding back, and so I
Yeah.
re-downloaded it.
And then I think I proceeded to send you an absurd amount of Miami edits.
I think it was an appropriate amount.
Was it appropriate? Okay.
Considering how much I like it.
I'm glad you think so.
I don't think there's an inappropriate level of those.
You know, fair.
I like
But yeah,
Miami.
no, and I think people are finally coming around to accepting the fact that it's kind of a really good race.
It's kind of one of the best races of the entire season.
And so I feel like it caught a lot of hate at the beginning, but it was a great race.
It did. And it usually falls on Cinco de Mayo weekend. So actually, side note,
Yes.
happy Cinco de Mayo.
Oh yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Today is definitely the 5th of May.
It is. It's gonna be May.
It has been May.
It has. In a meeting today, in like our weekly all hands meeting, one of the people that was running the meeting, they usually play a song at the beginning, and they played that one. It was pretty good. I do like that song. I really like NSYNC, so
No, I agree.
they're a great.
But yeah,
band.
no, it's Cinco de Mayo, last year was Cinco de Miami because the
This-
race was on May 5th.
Yes.
This year
year's
it was
Quattro de Miami.
but also May the 4th,
So Miami the 4th be with you,
and also with you,
and also with you.
because isn't the conclave happening right now?
It might be.
I think.
Yeah, and also with you.
And also- okay, well, speaking of the Pope,
Rest in peace.
R.I.P. So I came across this TikTok. It was, I think, what is his account's like at this James Coker. This was all him. I'm stealing his idea. But the game was former Ferrari team principal or Pope contender.
Wait, okay, is this the game you said you wanted to play with me?
Yes.
Okay, hold on.
So
Hold on, let me lock in.
I came across this TikTok, and it's rather funny. Some of them are, I got stumped on 2. I was 6 for 8. So this is, and I am going to butcher.
And what's crazy, I don't know more than like 3 team principals.
No, same. So it was real fun for me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna butcher the way some of these are said. Forgive me. All right. So up first we have Pierre Parolin.
Sounds like Paroli Tire.
Pope
You would think.
or Ferrari team principal.
Just because of how F1 it sounds, I'm gonna say Pope.
It is a Pope contender.
Yes!
Evidently, he is the front runner, or the supposed front runner to be the next Pope, and is also Italian. So it just kind of fits.
Yeah, it matches.
All right,
Okay.
so next we have Claudio Lombardi.
F1 principal?
Ferrari team principal.
Yes.
Okay. So now we have Pier Battista Pizzaballa.
Pizza Balla.
It's Pizzaballa. It's probably not Pizzaballa, but I don't know how else to say it.
Hey, he a Pizza Balla. I don't know.
Right, so Pope contender or Ferrari team principal.
I would hope that a Pope contender would be a Pizza Balla, so I'm gonna say Pope.
It is indeed a Pope contender.
Yes, I'm killing it.
You are.
But I don't want to jinx myself. I'm probably gonna start going downhill.
No, it's okay. All right, so Franco Gozzi,
Ferrari team principal?
Ferrari team principal.
Yes.
Eugenio Dragoni.
That sounds too popey, so I'm gonna go Ferrari team
It is
principal.
indeed Ferrari team principal.
Yes. I'm so good at this.
Matteo Zuppi.
Zoopy. Zooey Mama.
Jesus Christ.
Matteo Zooey Mama, that's a Pope.
It is indeed a Pope.
Yes.
All right, Marco Piccini.
Pacini?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I just have the dumbest thought.
Well,
Can I share that thought before I answer?
share with the class.
She wore an itsy bitsy teeny weeny yellow polka dot pacini.
I'm mad because I enjoyed that.
Thank you. What was the first name?
Marco. Polo.
Polo. Ferrari team principal?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. So our last one is Mario Gretsch. Gretsch? I don't know.
Pope.
Damn, you are 8 for 8. I'm so proud of you.
I know my Italians.
Well, they're not all Italian.
I know, but I know my Italian sounding names.
But yeah, I think I got Matteo and Marco wrong, maybe. I was doing real good at the beginning.
There was a few that like were kind of obvious, but then there was a few that I was like, that sounds a little too modern. I'm going to say Pope. Or that one's a little too Pope fancy sounding. That's got to be a normal person.
But yeah, no, I saw that and I just thought you would get a real kick out of it.
I did. Thank you.
Good, I'm glad.
A real kick out of it? Oh, I'm sorry. I kicked you way harder than I thought it was.
Anyways.
It was the cow. It wasn't me.
Right. But yeah, no. So Miami.
Anyways, back to our regularly scheduled programming, Miami. What a weekend.
Yeah. I mean, we started off with quite the bang. Max and Kelly finally had their child.
I know. Congratulations to Lily. I guess to them about Lily.
Yeah.
Congrats to Lily for being born. Great. You go, girl.
My favorite bit about the whole thing is that the child was born on Media Day.
So he didn't have to do
Max
anything.
got to miss Media Day.
I literally wrote that down.
And so that's probably his child being born on a day where he could skip press is the most Max Verstappen child thing that could have happened.
Yeah. We had some great comments from people on it. Like, for example, Yuki Tsunoda made like a little recording to Max and it goes, "Hi, Daddy Max. Congrats, like on whatever, but Daddy Max."
Yeah.
Thank you for that, Yuki. I have another funny thing that Yuki said during FP1 as well. And it wasn't that funny, but to me it was just ironic. He was in FP1 and he was on team radio and he was saying that his seat needed adjusting. It was too high. And I was like, that's kind of ironic because you would think that his seat needs to be higher than everyone else's.
Yeah, because he's real small.
Right. That's the joke. But I don't know. I literally wrote FP1. Yuki said his seat was too high, which is ironic because he's so short.
Not you putting a check mark.
I'm putting checks next to things that I've talked about so I don't have to worry about it because I get overwhelmed visually.
That's fair. There were a ton of special liveries.
I was about to say livery. You read my mind.
We sync up sometimes. But yeah, so there are a ton of special liveries this weekend. One of my personal favorites, and I don't even think the car was different. It was just their race suits. Yeah. Wasn't it? Yeah. So Mercedes, God bless them. If one were to take a Vera Bradley print from like peak Vera Bradley era, it's the Mercedes race suits from this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the first thing I saw. And so naturally I had to make a meme about it, and it's on our Instagram.
It was great.
And it took me maybe 5 minutes, not even, to find a print that I was like, yep, that is this. And it was kind of jarring because I think it was for qualifying. It was either for Friday or a Saturday. Toto Wolff wasn't wearing his normal white button-down Mercedes shirt.
That was weird.
I didn't know who that man was.
That's not Toto Wolff.
No.
That's Toto Home Dog.
That's Wodo Tolf. It doesn't work as well, but
what, Wodo Tolf?
Yep.
Or would it be Wowo since it's Toto?
No, just swap in the first letters.
I think I'm gonna go with Toto Home Dog instead of like dog instead of wolf because he's my dog. I think both of our jokes were bad.
They were.
So next we have RB. They were pink.
It was beautiful.
That
car was so cool.
It was literally giving Malibu Barbie their car and their outfits. And there was a bunch of TikToks that their team made. RB's social media team is insane.
Killing it.
Isaac Hadjar specifically is the people's princess.
Oh, yeah. He's carrying their socials.
He's carrying. And so they did one that was like, hi, Barbie. Hi, Barbie. Hi, Barbie. And it was just them talking back and forth to each other.
But yeah, I mean, it's one of those, Alpine, I feel like, claims them being the pink team.
But they don't do enough with it.
They don't do enough with it.
Stupid.
And in one livery alone, RB outshone every pink livery that Alpine has ever done.
Seriously, like
I
ever.
mean, because they did it because of we tried it on Saturday. They did it because of the summer edition of the Red Bull flavor.
Yeah, it was delicious.
White peach, it tasted like actual peach.
Not like fake peach.
Not the artificial peach that I feel like you get with a lot of the just peach flavored energy drinks on the regular.
But what was nice about, I mean, RB was more pink than Race Force India was, if that's even possible.
Yeah.
It was better pink, and it was cuter.
Well, it wasn't Pepto-Bismol pink.
It wasn't Pepto pink. It was like Malibu Barbie pink.
Yeah.
And it had like the cool like design.
My favorite bit was the wheel caps were like the pop tab on the Red Bull can.
I didn't see that. That's cute.
You need to, it to me was the equivalent of the air intake being the Duracell battery on Williams.
Oh, that's cute,
like just kind of scratched an itch in my brain. It was beautiful. Nice. I think I know Steak had theirs just looked like their car got slimed.
Yeah, it looked like
still green.
It was not that different. I did want to mention Lando had a disco ball helmet.
Yes.
It was so shiny and pretty.
Yes.
Funny moment though. So I remember I saw his disco ball helmet and I was like, that is so stinking cool. I love it. And we were watching maybe free practice or something, and maybe it was just the camera, but it looked like it was like not quite so shiny. And I was like, well, that makes sense. I'm sure they maybe like kind of muted it or something so that it's not like super reflective, because that could be dangerous when driving. Apparently that was just the camera or something, because later Lando takes off his helmet and is holding it, and it's like blinding him, and he keeps having to go like this when he's holding it.
Well, no. So they made two helmets essentially. So the one you saw was with like the actual disco ball pieces, and then the one he raced with was just vinyl stickers.
That is
so
smart.
It was actually blinding.
I was like, okay, like there's no way that's like road legal.
I kept seeing memes though that if he was able to drive in that one,
he would have won.
You know in iCarly when she walks in the door
and it's
is
like
blinded by the light.
Yeah.
That was essentially that, but all of the other drivers were Carly, and
he probably would have won if he had that helmet, just saying.
But yeah, Alex Albon had an orange helmet.
Yes.
Like, the fruit, I guess also the color.
Yeah, but
but the fruit, not just
orange as in the fruit.
Orange as in the fruit, which I thought was fun because I feel like a lot of the drivers usually just lean into Miami. And I feel like he was like, nah, Florida. Oranges.
He's like,
which
Florida.
Can confirm. Oranges in Florida hit different.
I didn't know that. I've never had a Florida orange.
When we lived in Tampa for about a year, and in our backyard we had a grapefruit tree and our neighbors had an orange tree, and so we would just like go and pick and as we so choose because nobody really had fences. It's an interesting time. I miss Florida.
Interesting.
It was fun.
Oh. Well, one other really fun thing. This was kind of I'll get to that later because that was like right before the race, but. We have some famous people that showed up, including Timothee Chalamet, who looked like your best friend's loser ex-boyfriend that stole pot from her reserve or something. Like,
was the least Timothee Chalamet has ever looked like Timothee Chalamet. Because who was that?
He looks like the kind of guy, like he normally does not look like this. He's normally a very conventionally attractive guy, but at the Miami Grand Prix, he looked like that guy from your high school that graduated 3 years ago but still sticks around and tries to smoke weed with all the young girls that are like seniors.
Well, he looked like somebody who showed up for his lookalike contest.
He did look like
I think if he showed up in the way that he looked for the Miami Grand Prix, he would have lost his own lookalike contest.
I think he would have. And then there's another famous person that I wanted to talk about that did like a whole thing. So Justin Jefferson is one of the Miami Dolphins, and he's a funny dude. Him and Oscar like were playing football and stuff, and apparently Oscar was really good, like had great form for football immediately, and he was like, okay, you're showing off now, and Oscar was like, sorry. My bad, I'm just great at everything.
Just apparently. An elite athlete.
Yeah, I'm just elite. But so this is before the weekend like really started.
I think it was on media day, wasn't it?
It was on media day, and Justin's like, he's the one that made the griddy famous essentially, and he teaches Oscar how to griddy, and it's not great, but it's like funny, haha, whatever. Apparently off camera, well, actually on camera, they did say this on camera. Justin was like, if you win the race, you have to do the griddy when you get out of the car, and Oscar was like, sure, cool. race in like sprint qualifying comes around. Oscar qualified P4, so he didn't practice.
Which may or may not come back to bite him.
May or may not come back to bite him. Spoiler alert.
It does.
It does. But I just thought that was hilarious. So I love that.
No, it was good. I just feel like so many people come to Miami. I saw this really cool fun fact today that the Miami Grand Prix generates 25% more in ticket sales and revenue for Hard Rock Stadium than all of the Miami Dolphin home games combined.
That's insane.
We're talking one weekend across, I don't know how many home games are in an NFL season.
A lot.
So many more than one F1 race.
Like minimum 10.
Yeah. I mean, granted, a lot more people can go to the F1 race, but still.
It's
crazy.
It's a lot. Yeah, it's definitely good.
I just thought that was kind of wild.
And then the last pre-race thing that I had was, it's funny, and I'll let me give you the lead into this. Sydney, you know where I'm going to go, but for the people at home, we are at the pool, and that's where we watched the race. And there's this group of people that come to the pool and show up, and like they are just blaring music. And so Parker told me to like go ahead and claim the TV for the race. And so I did. I just put music on, whatever. And Sydney was like, should we put like the driver parade on? And I was like, no, we shouldn't put it's like we're just playing music right now. It's fine. You can't be mad at me for that. You agreed with me. You agree. You're like, yeah, you're right. We never watched the driver parade. That's fine.
We did last year.
Okay, yeah, like one time. But you agree with me. You're like, yeah, whatever. Not a big deal. If you had even pressured me even slightly more, I would have done it because I am a bitch when it comes to peer pressure. I will succumb. But anyways, driver parade was pretty unique. It was
we're talking, this is easily the coolest driver parade
so
that there probably ever has been and ever will be.
Yeah, so like, you know how like these like Lego F1 cars, came out? That's like really cool and whatnot. They just casually spent 22,000 hours making full-sized cars.
Drivable.
That work.
That went up to like 20, I think it was 20 kilometers an hour.
It was very
I don't know what that is in miles per hour because I'm not going to do math. I'm historically bad at that on this podcast.
Yes, I think you should try.
No.
Just kidding.
No.
But, I mean, and the drivers drove in these Lego F1 cars.
It was so cool.
It was chaotic, too. They were, like, crashing into each other.
I'll have to show. I don't know if you saw, like, just the screen captures of just their reactions. It was instantly, I mean, granted, some of these drivers are children. Kimi Antonelli.
Yeah.
But like literally.
No, literally. He had to go to school today.
I don't think I have ever seen the drivers all this happy to be like driving in a driver's parade. I mean, they were acting a fool,
hitting each other,
texting and driving, videoing, intentionally running into each other. Before they had even gotten started, you see Max inch forward and hit the back of the McLaren.
Yep.
He just looks at the camera, grins menacingly, and it's like he saw the opportunity and he went for it. George ran the Williams car into the wall, and they had to get out and walk the rest of the way back to the paddock.
Yep.
It was like Lewis's laugh, because he recorded like the whole lap. I mean, that man was cackling.
He was.
Carlos at one point said it was like, he was like, move, bitches, or just something along those lines. And it was dying.
It was so good.
So funny.
Yeah. We missed the driver's parade, but that was hilarious. It's just so funny. Like, again, I saw that it took, like, the total amount of hours is equivalent to 2.5 years, but like people were working around the clock. 22,000 hours it took to build those cars. It's insane. Then they just immediately like
I think they were all mostly still drivable, but there was definitely some chunks missing. They had to sweep the track for some Lego debris.
There were some chunks missing.
And it would have been so poetic if someone had gotten a puncture because of a Lego piece. I'm not mad it didn't happen, because it for sure would have been a Ferrari. That's just the kind of luck that we have.
Well, I mean, it's not like they did much better anyways.
RIP. Those, unfortunately, it was our circus, and those were our monkeys.
Yeah.
But yeah, no,
Okay,
that
wait.
was easily one of the coolest driver parades that has ever driver paraded.
Yes. I do want to note the lighting is different. I did just get up and turn the lamp on for those watching at home. I did want to note that. So it's not like, whoa, everything looks very different.
I don't think they need to know that.
Well, what if they did?
Okay.
What if they care? What if they really care about us
Oh.
and our podcast?
Well, yeah, but I think they'll just notice that the lighting got different.
But like without context, that's kind of rude. I want to inform our viewers.
Is it?
Yes.
I think you're thinking too much into this.
I'm not. You're just wrong.
Okay.
It's called being considerate, Sydney.
Okay.
Anyways, let's move on to the sprint race.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
Oh, yeah, we sure did just jump drivers parade. I forgot it was a sprint weekend.
It was, yeah.
It definitely was a sprint weekend.
It was like probably one of the I think it was the best sprint race we've had all season so far.
Yeah,
it was so
it was only the
exciting.
second one.
I know, but like, that's my point, Sydney.
Okay.
You're just ruining all my jokes today.
Tell funnier jokes.
That's so rude. Get out. Anyways,
but yeah,
sprint race was super exciting. Here's my notes for it. Wow! Exclamation point. Crazy! Exclamation point. Rain! Exclamation point.
I think that pretty much covers it.
It does. I do want to note one thing. So, well, first of all, there was a few things that happened. Like Alonso had a pretty bad crash. Liam hit him. Every fucking driver get out of my way. I'm Liam Lawson. That like started playing all over my feed. Kimi Antonelli, youngest pole ever.
Yeah, he had that because sprint quali was on Friday. I remember I was watching it while I was working from home, and I'm sitting here watching. I was on a call too with Kelsey, and I said, "Hold on, we need to pause because there were 2 minutes left, and in SQ3, and so I said, pause." She goes, "Something's happening, isn't it?" And I said, "Yes, yeah. I appreciate you for indulging me." And that thing happening was Kimi Antonelli putting it on pole, not only for the first time, but yeah, youngest pole sitter ever by like 2 years.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
And then, again, he had to go to school today.
Yeah.
He just had to go to school after that, which is crazy. Also, one other really funny moment, like, I remember in that moment being like, what the hell just happened? So, Red Bull, like, speaking of Kimi, Red Bull was releasing Max from a pit stop and just, like, didn't check the pit lane to see if anyone was coming, and so they just released Max. He just went like right into Kimi.
Straight yeah. I mean,
ruined his race probably.
Yeah. No, it did.
Like, I mean, yeah, definitely.
It did.
It did ruin his race, yes.
But it also kind of ruined Max's too.
It did.
Fracked up his front wing.
Red Bull's fault.
Yeah, they let him go and they shouldn't have.
Nope, definitely not.
But I think Max ended up with like a 5-second time penalty.
I think it was 10.
Okay. Potato, tomato.
Potato, tomato?
Tomato, potato. Do you know in Brooklyn Nine-Nine, tomato, potato?
I don't know that part, but I've seen Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Tomato, potato.
You said tomato,
I said potato, tomato.
You said, I don't know what you said.
Okay.
It was weird. I liked it though. I was going to say one other thing. So with the unsafe release and stuff, it put McLaren in the front and they were doing great. And Oscar was winning, and I was like, this is fantastic. I didn't even wear my Oscar bracelet today. He lost.
Yeah.
He got P2. It's fine.
Well, I think that was around the time that Fernando crashed.
It was the pit stop and yellow flag.
But it was if I had a nickel for every time a safety car helped Lando Norris win a race, I'd have 2 nickels.
Which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice. Yep, exactly. So I did wear my Piastri bracelet for the race, even though I felt like it was a little Delulu because he was starting P4. It was not Delulu. I think my bracelet is what made Oscar win. So you're welcome, Oscar. You can thank me. I can give you my address to write a thank you note and send me a large sum of money for that. So,
right.
Yeah.
Right.
That was me. You saw me. I was wearing the bracelet and he won.
Were you at the pool?
Yes, I wore it all day.
Were you really? I don't remember you having the bracelet on.
You don't remember some things.
No.
Parker doesn't remember
some things.
So
I remember all of the things that happened to me.
Yes, including getting stung by a wasp.
Yeah, so mind you, we decided a month and a half ago that we wanted to do a pool party for the Miami Grand Prix. And all week, it looked like it was supposed to rain in San Antonio. Luckily, it didn't. The weather was beautiful. That's the thing about San Antonio. If it says it's going to rain, it probably isn't.
And if it says it's going to be beautiful and sunny, it's probably going to hail.
Yeah, because that's just what happens here.
Yeah.
But so we get out there, and yeah, like Hannah said, like we had gotten out there. I think we were at the pool at 12:30. Race wasn't until 3. Just to make sure, so we had to stake our claim on the TV, make sure we had a good spot, and we got the race on. We were like race start. We were having a good time. We had margaritas. It was
too much margaritas.
Hannah makes a really strong margarita.
It was the Joe T. Garcia's recipe, I swear.
They were so good, but they were so
They were.
strong.
I only had like half of mine, and I was feeling it.
Like strong enough that I rewatched the race on my lunch break today.
Oh,
or,
wow.
Well, most of it. Well, I rewatched the back half.
Yeah, okay.
Because the back half was around the time. So this race was so fun, right? So much happened. Such a good race. Probably about halfway through it. So I have my phone by the pool sitting on top of my cup because I'm keeping notes so that, I wouldn't have to rewatch the race, even though that's what happened anyway. And I don't know. I still don't know how it happened.
I don't either.
I bumped my cup. I hear a plop. And I look at my cup and I was like, well, shit. My phone's not there anymore. I looked at it and Parker's next to me goes, oh, it just fell in the pool. And I look and I go, oh, that's my phone. And so then I go diving for my phone. And before I could, I didn't take my hat off. I didn't take my sunglasses off. So then my sunglasses were at the bottom of the pool for 20 minutes. Mm-hmm. I thought it was really ironic Googling on my phone that had just taken a dip in the pool if my version of my phone was water resistant. Turns out it is.
Thank you, Apple.
Yeah, shout out Apple. It survived. It was only underwater for maybe 10 seconds.
Yeah,
but still,
I missed all of this too. I was really locked in on the race or something. Because she was right next to me. It's not like I was away.
No, you were. I think you were on the other side of Parker, and I was out of the pool. Phone case was off, and I'm wiping my phone.
I turn around and I'm like, what happened?
I was like, my phone fell in the pool.
Yeah,
which you would think was the most unfortunate thing that happened to me that day. No. We're at this point, my phone's dry. I'm pretty sure that it's gonna be fine. Maybe 10 laps into the race later, I feel something. It doesn't, when you feel a bug on you and you know what that feels like.
Yeah, it's a bad feeling. I don't know
what I felt. And I did not see this freaking little wasp fly in from anywhere. I don't know where it came from. I don't know how it got there. All of a sudden, I felt something on my collarbone and I went to go brush it off. I don't know when it happened. This little son of a bitch stung me. And I was like, and you turned and looked at me. And I think I said, I think I just got stung by a wasp.
And I started freaking out. I pulled a Anthony Bridgerton and started being like, do you need Benadryl? Do we need to get you medicine?
Because I was so chill about it.
You were too chill about it.
So chill about it.
For context, anytime a wasp would get within 5 feet of her, she would sprint somewhere else. And so the fact
because it was all over my cup.
Yes. So the fact that you got stung and were just kind of chilling, I was like, something's wrong here.
I mean, I know I wasn't allergic to them. I got stung by the same wasp twice as a kid.
Which is still bonkers.
Yeah, no, it was a targeted attack. Because it stung me. It flew 3 feet in front of me and then came back and stung me again.
Yep.
I was 5 just trying to go swim. What did I do to you? Anyways.
So, I prevented that from happening again, by the way. I drowned the wasp that stung her.
Sure.
I had a vengeance against that wasp.
I find comfort knowing that if anything happens to me, that you will take vengeance for me. Because I think I just had pushed the wasp away in the water and Hannah goes, no, scoops water and drowns it.
Oh yeah, and I kept drowning it multiple times. I just had to be sure because sometimes they're really resilient.
No, they are.
So if you do ever, anyone out there listening, if you ever hurt Sydney, I'll drown you.
I love you for that. Thank you.
I only do it because I love you.
Oh, but yeah, she then proceeded to give me a piece of ice
from my margarita.
but never fear, she had dunked it in the pool. Goes, hey, I dunked it in the pool. It doesn't have any margarita on it anymore.
Yeah, well, I mean, I feel what would you rather it be sticky?
We're in the pool.
I know, but
I appreciate the gesture. but I don't
you.
think I really cared.
Okay.
So I think the key to surviving a wasp sting is be a little toasted. You know,
Have a friend there that's gonna drown the wasp.
have a friend there that will kill the wasp for you
Mhm.
and put margarita ice on it.
Yeah.
It still hurt.
And offer Benadryl like every 5 minutes until she was sure that you were okay.
Yeah, well, I know I wasn't allergic to them.
I know, but I still get Nova.
No, I probably should have taken some Benadryl because it still hurt this morning.
Yeah, well, also you haven't been stung since you were like 5, and some people develop allergies like later in life. And
you know, what if I had like a severe allergic reaction?
I would have.
That would have been crazy.
I would have driven you to the ER immediately. I would have.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Like I would have ended everything. I would have. I would drop everything.
No, I appreciate you.
Yeah. No, I just let
just
you
gonna
die.
let me die.
Let you like slowly asphyxiate. Let you slowly asphyxiate to death.
I still don't. Is that
Asphyxiate?
It doesn't sound right. I think you're right, but it just sounds wrong.
Yeah, it's not an easy word to say.
No, it's not.
Definitely not.
Anyways, so yeah, it was just, and by that point, I'm really not all that mad about the wasp debacle because that was about the time that, we got our really just glorious appearance of the Ferrari clowns. They found their way onto the plane to Miami.
Mm-hmm.
And, geez, I mean.
Hey, Lewis did get his 8th.
Yeah, he's 7 or 8 in the championship standings right now. But
yeah, I mean, he got 8th in this race.
Oh, okay. No, he was being sassy, but it was so warranted.
It was very warranted.
Yeah.
I've got a couple quotes from him.
This is not good teamwork. That's all I'm going to say.
Yep, that's one. So he said that because they kept telling him to, like, let Charles pass.
No, he was faster than Charles, and they took, like, 6 or 7 laps to decide to let Lewis pass.
And so, but then when they did,
so
Charles
cooked Lewis's tires.
Yes, and then when he did pass, Charles was like less than a second behind him for the rest of the race. After that, because
and they cooked each other's tires. It just was not. It was not a good look. And then towards the end,
yeah. Well, here's a couple other Lewis quotes. His race engineer says Sainz is 1.4 seconds behind, and Lewis goes, "Want me to let him pass as well?" And then another one, I don't remember what he said at first, but he goes, "Have a tea break while you're at it."
I mean, because I think they were like, "We'll get back to you." Have a tea break while you're at it. And it just was, it was nuts. I mean, there was some, warranted sass. There were some really good battles. Max was having a field day trying to defend against Oscar and Lando.
Oh, yeah.
And it was really brilliant defense and offense from
everyone.
From
really.
both. I mean, it was one of those, it was inevitable. The McLarens were going to get around the Red Bull.
Mm-hmm.
But Max put up a fight.
He did.
And it was good.
Yeah.
That was a part that I really clocked into on the rewatch.
Not to hop back on the Oscar train, even though I will happily do that 7,000 more times. Oscar was really putting the pressure on Max for that. Like, Oscar's really good at any weakness, he will exploit it. He's very much like Max in that sense. Any mistake you make, if he's close enough, that's it for you. I wanted to mention how good of a race that Williams had. Williams had a fantastic race, and
they're best of the rest right now, and pretty comfortably.
Yeah, I've got a couple memes that I would like to make about that, or I guess explain. So one of them is, look at me, I am the 4th team now to Ferrari.
Yeah,
and then the other one is Ferrari. It's I mentioned this meme before with Oscar and Lando and Max, but this is Ferrari saying, "You can't defeat me." Williams goes, "I know, but he can," and it's just Ferrari still.
Yeah,
they really get in their own way.
No, my favorite that I saw was the Tony Stark was able to build this in a cave with a box of scraps, and it was Williams being Tony Stark.
Yeah,
in that scenario. I mean, Ferrari is Ferrariing.
But we did have a through goes Lewis Hamilton.
We had a through goes Lewis Hamilton.
And I remember screaming it, and everyone at the pool looked at me really funny.
But then
okay.
we were all really hype about it because those of us that, you know.
If you know, you know.
And
it was between Charles and Carlos, right?
Yeah, I think, yeah.
It was Charles and Carlos.
Charles and Carlos were battling.
Between Charlos.
Yeah, I know. R.I.P. My favorite team duo.
Well, here, it's just such a funny, ironic image because it's like, think to last season, Charles and Carlos just fighting, and then in comes Lewis Hamilton to destroy everything, like with the team. That's what happened in the race.
Yeah, a little bit.
They're focused on their own battle, and then Lewis was like, "No man, if I do."
Yeah, which was fun because Ferrari is just, golly.
This was a really, how do I put this delicately?
Demoralizing race.
This was a really fucking embarrassing race to be a Ferrari fan.
Yeah.
Like, horrific. Like, let me put it super respectfully and kind. Super fucking horrible race for Ferrari.
Yeah,
that's being
kind.
That's being kind. Get your shit together.
I saw something today, and it was like, I don't know how many more forces I have in my Ferrari.
I don't know how many forces I have. And like, I hate to reference the same meme again, but the loading the penne pasta into the gun.
Oh my gosh.
That's how I feel.
And I will never abandon my team. I love them to pieces. I'd follow them to hell and back. I just wish they would stop going there. But I'm hoping that maybe we can turn our shit around, before the end of the season. But to end the 24 season, or 20, no, hold on. We're in 2025. What year is it? 24. To end last season the way that they did, I mean, they came back. Had they done it a little bit quicker, they could have clinched the constructors. It was close. And then we're sitting 4th in the constructors. Charles is, I think, 5th in the standing.
We're getting beat by a Williams.
Which I
don't get me wrong.
Williams. They're definitely my second favorite team. I love Williams and have for a while.
Mm-hmm. However,
but, holy shit!
Like, we're Ferrari. That's not how this should work, like,
it's my circus and those are my monkeys,
unfortunately.
But, jeez. And yeah. Okay, we didn't talk about their livery when we were talking about liveries, probably because
they looked like RB, like a normal RB.
Well, yes, but I just wish,
what happened to Baby Blue?
2 years now, I'm not mad. I loved the darker blue, but for 2 years now they've teased this blue. All we want is a full blue livery.
When that's never, like,
if you had given me a full blue livery, I might have not been as mad about how demoralizing and awful that race was.
But they won't do it.
At least the car was pretty.
At least the car. But it
do
wasn't.
You want to know what my favorite? It's all of the things that the race suits in the car looked like. So some of my favorites. I think my favorite is the O'Hare delivery guy from the Lorax.
Can I see? I need a visual reminder. Yeah.
But we also had Lightning McQueen transforming into the Dynaco blue, but only midway.
Yep.
An actual HP printer, the blue and white one,
mm-hmm.
A bomb pop.
Oh, those are so good. The
mm-hmm.
rocket pops.
Mm-hmm. The blue Power Ranger, a Smurf, a Colgate toothpaste bottle or package, a clear blue pregnancy test.
Stop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They tried, but it just give me. I just want a blue livery.
Put like a college age girl in charge of that 1 year and see how well it does. I'm not kidding. Like, they need to give the reins over to, like, the women F1 fans, like the female F1 fans.
Just look at what RB did. That is easily one of my favorite special livery. Like, they have killed Miami the last 2 years because theirs last year was really pretty too.
It was.
And I'm like, that's how you do a special livery.
That is how they do it. One thing that was...
I'm still mad about it.
I am too, but if I talk about it too much, I'll just get more mad. So there's only so much we can say and so little that Ferrari does about it.
I mean, at least as far as the race goes, there were a couple of unfortunate... I think only rookies didn't finish the race.
That is correct. That is absolutely
Jack crashed.
Mm-hmm. That was a bad one.
Ollie's engine gave out. Bortoletto, something happened to him, and then he was out too. And then Lawson ended up because he was the one who got hit by Jack, or
Yeah.
they hit each other. He raced for a little while longer
But it
and then
didn't
just
work.
sustained too much damage.
Yeah.
And then there were a couple of holes in the side of his car when they pulled it into the garage.
Mm.
But I don't know if you saw today. I was talking with my coworker, and there are rumors that Franco's going to replace Jack.
Soda Bean's back. Soda Bean's back. That's
Which
literally on my list.
I hate for Jack. I do like him.
I know I do like Jack.
But I loved Soda Bean and I
know.
loved Franco so much.
Like, can we have both of them?
Why not both?
Can they have 3 drivers? I mean, their car's bad enough. I don't think it would be unfair by any means to have 3.
I feel like it's just too early.
It's too early. It's kind of like, it's not Liam Lawson to Yuki Tsunoda early, but it's still too early.
Liam had a handful of races already in F1. I still think he just got screwed over by Red Bull. But as much as I want Franco back in F1, I don't feel like Jack has been given enough of an opportunity to prove himself.
It shouldn't come at the expense of Jack.
I mean, considering one of the races he went out on was a rain race.
Yes, correct.
And so it's unfortunate. And it's like, to Jack's defense, what's Franco going to do in the Alpine that Jack can't?
Exactly. It's an Alpine. Like, what are we going to...
It's an Alpine.
Like...
But, you know...
Yeah.
So, I saw those rumors.
My only other notes from the race are... And it's the classic... George Russell does nothing. P3.
Oh, it needs to be studied.
It needs to be studied.
Because I think the first few times, this man is notorious for just, and we say do nothing. Obviously, he's driving in the race, right? But essentially doing nothing and getting a podium.
I think he's just kind of like, he likes to hang out in the background and wait for other people to make mistakes. And then he just kind of is like, oh, don't mind if I do. I'll just step right in here.
Good on him for putting himself in a position to where he can.
Yep.
Because I will say, to his defense, I mean, he did what he needed to do to put himself, in this position where he could just inherit a podium.
Yep.
But, I mean, he did have to get around Max, or it just was I remember we were sitting in the pool and there was a gap between the top, 3?
Mm-hmm.
And then there was a pit stop and all of a sudden George was like 20 seconds ahead.
Yep.
Or it was the McLarens were 20 seconds ahead.
It was that.
It was wild.
Well, the main ahead part with the McLarens is Oscar their car is crazy. But also, so Oscar ended up passing Max, and then Lando was like not letting Max have any room to breathe. Like they were battling like for a long time. And because of that, Oscar,
he was like
clean
9
air
seconds
in front
ahead
within like a minute or two after, like within a couple laps of passing Max. So that was really cool. Like he just had all the clean air ahead of him. It's kind of like, have you seen that meme? I don't know if it's like, it's a gif from something where like they're like driving like this, and then there's like, oh, I think it's the Star Wars. It's Obi-Wan Kenobi just driving, and then like they edited all the explosions and stuff in the background. So it's like chaos behind, and he's just like,
I mean, I get it. I don't know if I've seen that one, but yes, you're right.
It's great. It's like a outtake from, he's not actually doing that in the movie because it's a serious scene. They're like fighting in the air and whatnot.
It was I mean, Jesus, McLaren got it right. I mean, we saw that at the end of last year, but it's gonna be hard for anyone to even come close, I think, to what McLaren has done.
There is one thing that a McLaren person did not do right. That is Oscar, and that is the griddy.
Bless his heart.
He tried.
He did try.
So like he said this. He has been asked about it like no less than 12 times since the race ended. Yeah. Everyone's like, what happened with the griddy, the dance, whatever? And he keeps rolling his eyes like, I know it's bad. I lost the bet with Justin Jefferson. And he said, like I said before, I started P4 and I had like Max and Lando ahead of me. Like I didn't think I needed to practice.
Yeah.
So he didn't. And then he did a griddy for like maybe 3/4 of a second.
Oh, yeah.
And that was
not
enough.
long. And he immediately, you could see the moment he decided
that it was bad.
This is bad. I should stop.
Yeah.
It was my favorite thing about it is Nicole Piastri, Oscar's mom. We love her. Big Nicole Piastri.
The whole Piastri family.
Yes. She either quoted the tweet or commented on one of the posts and said, well, rhythm's never been his strong suit.
No, it has not.
And it just, he's already embarrassed.
I
And then
know,
his
for
mom
his
just like
mother.
puts the nail in the coffin.
I know. It's like, it's one thing if it's like a journalist, but like your own mother, when you're already struggling from
Yeah.
embarrassment. It's the Piastri way. It's why he's humble.
I love Oscar so
I
much.
do too. So I marked that, and then I just had one more little stat here. Oscar has officially joined Max and Lewis on the quote unquote podium. So Lewis is number 1, Max is number 2, Oscar is now number 3 for the most consecutive race finishes in F1 history, aka like not crashing and like not finishing a race. So Oscar's at like 38 or something. Max is in the 40s or 50s, and I think Lewis is in the 50s or 60s.
That's impressive. Which, I mean, it makes sense. Yeah, no, and then the other one too, he now has more race wins than Lando.
I know, and he has surpassed Lando for the championship.
Yeah, which that happened last race.
Yeah.
And I think we've touched on it before. People give Lando a lot of shit for going so long without a win, but I think those people, or maybe they just don't know, forget that when Lando came into F1,
the car was shit.
Was awful.
The car was
They were back of the grid awful.
Like, they weren't just like midfield. They were like with Alpine.
And so stuff. It's, by the time Oscar joins, they're already kind of midfield and we're making their way up the grid.
Yeah.
And so, I think, I want to give Lando a little bit of grace in that, but we've talked about, Oscar just, I don't think Lando has the mental part down yet. And
that's exactly
Oscar, I think we talked about it a lot last episode. Oscar's just, I think he just has that racing mentality that we see with Max.
He does.
Just like the more chill side.
Oh, 100%. Like he keeps his composure. He's got race smarts is a good way to put it. Like, he not only keeps a level head and doesn't let his emotions get to him too much, but he also just like is very intelligent about everything regarding the race and how to drive and styles like that. So he's done his homework as well. It doesn't mean that Lando hasn't, and here's the thing. A lot of people, like you said, give Lando a lot of hate, especially because Oscar's kind of passing him up now. They're like, well, why didn't they? And people were hating on Lando when he started doing good last year too.
Yeah.
Because everyone just likes to hate on the young guy. Yeah. They're pulling a Max on Lando. But like, Lando doesn't deserve that. Like, he's doing his best. He's doing a great job. He's still, in my opinion, doing better than last year. He has matured. He's just still has a way to go. He's like 23, 24.
Yeah, we're both older than him.
We're both older. Their frontal lobes have not developed.
No, which makes a lot of sense. And because I think I totally agree with you. I think Lando catches a lot of unwarranted hate.
100%.
But I will say, I think also kind of on the other side of that coin, there are times in interviews, I think he still quite hasn't hit that of taking ownership of some of either his mistakes or just kind of shortcomings with races. I think he still is, his instinct is almost to kind of find the excuse of like, it's not always his fault. It's kind of something else. Or if a scenario happened between him and Max, like just some of the way I think he defends himself sometimes, I think has maybe rubbed people the wrong way. Not so much me. I just have tried to see maybe where some of the hate has come from. I don't get it. I love Lando.
Here's the thing with that. I do think that there have been some instances where he hasn't really quite taken full ownership. Like, he tries, but it's like not quite there. And I can see that. But for the most part, what I think it is, and this isn't like why I think people don't like him, but I think this is where he gets in his own way, is when he does own up to his mistakes, he is like beating himself up about it.
Yeah.
He doesn't learn and move on. He holds on to that. And so like, I think every time he makes a mistake, every time he loses a race, every time anything happens, it just keeps building this pile on top of him that's weighing him down and like preventing him from doing better. Like, for example, like being, I'm trying to remember, like a mental block in sports is actually a real thing. So like, I'm not talking just like in general, but like from a like chemical standpoint, when your mind is not in the right place, when you are hard on yourself too much, or when like you are not, like when something's wrong, you physically, your body cannot perform the same way.
And so it's one of those, like, I feel bad for, like, I mean, we saw last year just the insane pressure it took off of himself of just getting that first win.
Yeah.
And I'm hopeful that I think as he maybe gets more under his belt, I'd like to see that. No, hold on. I'd like to think that we'll see kind of just maybe his outlook or maybe his confidence grow. I don't know what it is. Like, I want to see him succeed. I want to see Oscar succeed. And so it just, I do feel bad that Lando catches a lot of hate because I don't think it's deserved.
And I think a lot of people, like, he won his first race in Miami. That was great. And he won a couple others last season. It was awesome. And I think everyone expected him to be new world driver champion just because he won a few races.
Right.
George Russell has been on the podium a ton, like last season.
Charles has been on the podium a ton.
Carlos even. And no one was expecting them to be world driver champion.
Right.
But they're treating Lando as if he should be doing all this when he is performing like most of the other top drivers.
He's the more experienced driver. He's this, he's that. I think we forget that we've talked about, I mean, him and, it's McLaren's right. They have two number one drivers because Lando or Oscar would be the number one driver at any other team.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're both just damn good. Lando's just been in the sport a few more years.
Mm-hmm.
And so it'll be interesting. We've said it before. I think it's Lando's to win or Oscar's to win, Lando's to lose.
Yeah, I would agree.
And so it'll be interesting. I hope, I think it's inevitable at some point this season. I think they're going to take each other out.
I do. I think there's going to be tensions. I think Netflix is going to spin it as if they hate each other, which they obviously don't. I mean, even like Max had a quote the other day that was like, if anyone was going to unseat me for world champion, I wanted it to be Lando.
Yeah.
Like, and then Netflix is still like, they fucking hate each other, guys. Trust us. Like, no, you don't get it. So I do think that Netflix will do that with Oscar and Lando.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think Oscar has a hateful bone in his body.
No.
He does have like a little bit of sass from certain things, but like it's never like he doesn't. I don't think he hates anyone.
No, and if he does, he keeps it on lock and key.
He does. If he hates anyone, it should be his mother for embarrassing him like that.
But we love Nicole.
But we love Nicole. But no, I think Lando catches a lot of hate for no reason. I do think that there will probably be tensions between Oscar and Lando, but it's not gonna be what Netflix makes it out to be.
Or heaven forbid, I hope it's not a Lewis Nico Rosberg.
Oh God.
Which I don't think it would be.
I don't think it would be.
But I think it's inevitable, especially as the season progresses, if they keep the race as close as they are right now, and just like kind of the points between the two of them, tension's inevitable.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen. I mean, and I think even Zach Brown said, we're kind of expecting something to happen at some point.
Exactly.
With both cars up there, it's just inevitable that something's going to happen and both McLarens are going to take, the short end of the stick.
Something's going to happen.
But no,
oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I don't know where that was going.
Okay, cool.
That was a sentence that was just going to...
We were just pandering at that point.
Mm-hmm. I
do that a lot. I did have one more quote that I wanted to share from Christian Horner himself, the man, the myth, the douchebag. And that is a quote that he made. Here's the thing.
Oh, I know which one this is, and it's so weird.
So here's the thing.
It's not a thing you say when a person has a child.
No, here's what he should have said. So I'll tell you the first sentence of what he said. It was like 2 sentences. The first sentence was like, "You have a Verstappen and a Paquette baby." Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Where he should have gone with that and said that kid's gonna be a great driver. That kid's got racing in her blood. She's gonna be a great driver one day. You know what Christian Horner, the mega creepo said?
You could have taken.
He said if that baby were a racehorse, it'd be worth a ton of money.
Which is just so weird.
Like, hey, what?
Not that I ever think that man will give me any redeeming quality.
No.
But it's just things like that, and I'm like, yeah.
Like, hey man, like newborn baby. Like, if that thing was a horse, like, imagine, because obviously he's gonna meet the baby soon. Like, it's Max.
It's inevitable.
And like what if, like, let's say, like, me and Parker have our kid, you come and visit us, you're like, oh my god, like, it's a Patillo and a Spagnoletti, like, it's gonna be so smart. Like, that's probably what you would say, because I'm so goddamn intelligent. It's amazing.
You're right.
and you said something like, damn, if I put that on the black market, it'd be worth a ton of money. Like,
I wouldn't want to be my friend at that point.
No. Does anybody want to be Christian Horner's friend besides Christian Horner?
Who knows?
Helmut Marko, maybe.
Probably.
Both of them can go kick rocks.
It's just such a conflicting feel. We love Max. We love Yuki. We just hate Red Bull as an organization.
I say this a lot. I love Max and Yuki. I just don't like Red Bull as a team, as an organization. Yeah. Such a good weekend. It was a great weekend. I have a diva of the day that I would like to share.
Yeah, hit me.
And I'm pretty sure it's pretty fucking obvious, but it is Lewis Hamilton.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, who else would it be?
I mean, that man, the sass for one. Because we've gotten sassy radio messages from Lewis.
Not like that, though.
But not like that in that many in one race. And I mean, he was on it. And speaking of divas, he's co-hosting the Met Gala right now.
He looks so good.
His outfit, I mean,
he's got a beret.
We knew Lewis Hamilton was going to slay.
Oh, I know.
But that man looks so good.
That man can dress.
Yes.
That man just turned 19 in Poland. Like, do you know that phrase?
Yes.
Okay, good. Just make sure. That man just turned 19 in Poland. He's always so eating. Yes. Like, he is all there. He does not walk out of the house unless he looks perfect.
It just, Lewis for sure was diva of the day. I think you could make a case for the Mercedes race suits also.
The suits themselves, yes, correct.
Yes.
I would agree. I think the perfect storm would have been Lewis wearing the Mercedes race suit.
The things I would do to see that, honestly.
Yeah. And it's crazy because, like, if you had asked us a year ago if we didn't think that Lewis would be wearing that suit this weekend, we'd be like, what the fuck are you talking about?
It's crazy. I love this sport. It's so much. It was a good weekend, despite the fact that my phone tried to die. A wasp tried to kill me. Ferrari shat the bed. It was we had a great time.
We had a great time. I loved it. It was a fantastic time.
Made enchiladas, watched Star Wars.
We're going to eat enchiladas after this, too, because we made a lot of enchiladas. I say we. Sydney made them.
Well, they're shout out my mom for the
Pam!
recipe.
Thank you, Pam.
So good. They're like a sour cream enchilada.
Lorazepam. Sorry, that's stupid.
Huh?
Oh, yeah, you haven't seen White Lotus. Never mind.
Yeah, no. It's my bad.
There's a drug called lorazepam. It's like a Xanax, essentially.
Okay.
And there's this woman from South Carolina in the show, and she's like, has anyone seen my lorazepam? And so you said Pam, and I said, thank you, Pam. And I thought, lorazepam.
Okay. I see the correlation.
Lorazepam, because she's chill as fuck.
Yup. Yeah. No, so I'm hungry.
I'm hungry, too. Are we done?
It was a good weekend. I think no race this weekend. No. And then it's Imola.
And then Monaco.
Monaco's
my birthday weekend.
Oh, that's going to be a good one.
I can't wait.
Oh, I signed up for another one of the Williams virtual meet and greets. We'll see how that goes.
You're going to get an email in like 2 hours that it was 3 days ago.
So catch me refreshing my emails.
Every morning.
Just Thursday morning. Because that's when they send them, evidently.
Apparently.
If I win something again and find out about it after the fact, that might actually be my 13th reason.
I actually had a dilemma the other day.
Yeah.
And I was wondering this. If I, for some reason, won, like an all expenses paid thing, would I take you or Parker?
I know.
Because, like, Parker's my husband.
And I've had the same dilemma with, do I take you or Shelby?
Mm-hmm. Because we're podcast buds.
Right.
Like this is.
But it's like Shelby's thing. My sister.
And then Parker's
that's
my
who I bullied into F1 after.
But like it's our thing.
Right.
You know.
I feel like the only and for Shelby, it would be you unless you couldn't go.
And then it'd be me.
And obviously.
Yay.
Obviously. Maybe Parker will just not be able to take off work.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, that would probably be likely.
Poor thing.
I know. I don't know, it's tough. I don't know. And so
No, it is.
I'm glad that we've had this discussion because I'm terrified that one day I am gonna win and then we're gonna be
Will I be sad? Yes. But I'm not ever gonna be mad at you for picking your actual husband.
I know, but this is our thing.
You're right.
He doesn't even have a team right now.
Yeah, he just likes Lance Stroll because we hate Lance Stroll.
Yes, and he likes Audi, Cadillac, whatever. Checo rumored to be a driver for that.
Also, sidebar, because of speaking of Cadillac, you remember how I was talking about yesterday where I saw the thing that supposedly Kit Kat was going to sponsor Cadillac, and then they would literally be Kit Kat Cadillac. It was indeed Formula Fakers.
Fuck.
I know.
I don't remember you telling me that, but I got my hopes up for a second just now.
But now I want it
Kit Kat Cadillac.
That would be so funny.
That would be great. Kit Kat has the opportunity to do the best thing in the world right now.
So, yeah, any Kit Kat executives out there
that are watching this, because obviously
do your job.
Kit Kat Cadillac.
Be so funny.
That'd be hilarious.
Be so funny.
Be
But
so
anyways.
funny.
But yeah, it was a damn good weekend.
Great weekend. Enchilada time?
Enchilada time.
Join us in a couple weeks for Imola.
Yeah.
Which is super exciting.
I know.
And then we'll do...
It might be the last one. Because we don't know if we're getting Imola anymore.
I thought you meant like before you moved, and I was about to kill myself.
Oh no, we have a few more.
It'll be 2 more before you move. Anyways, comment Sydney's a bitch in the comments. Thanks.
You're right, I am. Anyways, we'll catch you next time.
Thanks. It's lights out.
And away we go.
Thank you.
Bye.
And goodbye.
Sydney's